with workplace harassment, sexual harassment, and rape accusations, men have to be very careful in society because it's set up in a way where there's a power structure that men can be taken advantage of, and women can be taken advantage of too. But a lot of times when it comes to a story, it comes back to a he said, she said. And many people are going to go with the she said because, in general, that's how people are going to believe that the story unfolded. But there are two sides to a story. And so for me, I sell tie-dye for a nonprofit in San Diego. And anyone that's followed my content knows that. I've mentioned it before. And it's relevant to this because I was selling at the San Diego Zoo a few weeks ago. And this one guy had told me that at his job, he got a write-up recently for flirting at work. And with me, I sell tie-dye. I sell shirts, short sleeve, long sleeve, tank tops, hoodies. I also sell dresses, tie-dye dresses. I sell to women and children. I have women's dresses, women's tops, and I have kids' dresses, kids' tops. And it's not a big deal. I have a lot of fun with it. I meet women from all over the country. It's a good job. I'm at the beach all day. And so I never have an issue with anything like that. I've never been accused of flirting at work. I mean, like, a woman will buy a dress and sometimes she'll ask me what color looks better on her, or how I think she looks in the dress, and I tell her, I just give her an honest answer. I might just say, hey, like, you got a nice ass, or whatever. I mean, I read the situation. I'm a young guy, I have fun with it, but it's relevant because depending on who the guy is, that can play out differently. So me, I'm a mixed race guy. I have green eyes, I'm in good shape, I'm lean, I have a modeling contract, tall, dark, handsome, like the whole like stereotype of that. So I never experience it the way that maybe an overweight white guy who's unattractive might experience it. So us doing the same two actions or saying the same thing causes different things to happen. So where he might just be like the example that the guy used for what brought that up at his job was that he had mentioned something to the girl, his coworker, about like an event that was going on after work or on the weekend or something, and wanted to know if she wanted to go or whatever. And she ended up telling a supervisor, and then they talked to him about it and say, hey, stop harassing her. And then he got a write-up at work for flirting and inappropriate workplace inappropriate workplace harassment. But sometimes it just comes down to, like, she's not interested or she's not attracted to the guy. So with the power structure in place, she's able to take advantage of that. Like, oh, like, this guy's coming on to me, he's being inappropriate. And with the way things are, people are just going to go with her story. And, men can take advantage of women. Men can definitely do that. But a lot of times it is just her blowing something up. It's like, too, a guy and a girl can be having some drinks, having a good time, and a sexual act can take place, and sometimes the man can rape the woman. That happens. He can take advantage of the woman, but sometimes it takes two to tango, and sometimes it's just she's regretting what happened, and that's just like the thing the next day or later on to just say, oh, this is what he did to me, because she either wasn't attracted to him or she's looking back on it with regret, so she can say that in this society and people are going to believe it. Now, we have to be careful with what we're believing, because sometimes it's serious, and sometimes it's just her blowing something up. And a lot of guys get screwed over by this because whether it's the courts or law, marriage, relationships, workplace, men can get very screwed over by this kind of stuff, and it's very serious. Now, I mentioned it in a joking context because from my paradigm, I just don't experience it that way. As a mixed race guy myself, I'm 26, I'm young. I don't experience that. I just don't experience from that. I've never been accused of that. I've never been accused of workplace harassment or sexual harassment or rape. It's like the Jeremy Meeks thing. The mixed race convict a few years ago, his mugshot goes viral. Every woman likes the picture, comments on it. They started like a GoFundMe to bail the guy out of jail. He's on a bunch of news outlets. He gets out, and then he gets a modeling contract. With him, you'd see comments on the picture like, I wish this guy would rape me. Like, women would comment that, and it's funny because I understand it myself. Like, as a mixed race guy with green eyes and the tan skin and everything, I understand the comment. I understand, like, the truth behind it. So to me, it's funny because I don't have anything to hide. I've always been very respectful to women, and so to me it's funny because I just don't experience it from the end of the guy who told me that when I was selling at the zoo. Like, I've never been accused of like workplace harassment or sexual harassment or flirting or like, I mean, it's funny to hear it from my end, but it's not funny in another sense because a lot of guys get screwed over by this kind of stuff, this kind of rhetoric where one guy can do something and it's perfectly okay, or he can say something and it's perfectly fine, but when the other guy says it, the same exact thing, or he does the same exact thing, it's not okay. And we got to be careful about what we're accusing people of. If you're not interested, you're not interested. If you're not attracted to someone, you're not attracted to them. But when you're blowing things out of proportion, it really can screw people over long term. So a lot of the MGTOW philosophy is realizing where men have been screwed over and the ability to be screwed over by the way laws are set up and the way that women can react to things. And so we got to be careful with how we're perceiving certain situations.